If you were over 60 and you feel heaviness in your legs, cold feet at night, tingling, numbness, cramping when you walk, or that strange feeling like your legs just don't have the strength they used to, then listen very carefully, because what I'm about to share may completely change the way you think about circulation and aging. Most people are told that poor leg circulation after 60 is just normal aging, or they're pushed toward magnesium, compression socks, or told to walk more and live with it. But here is the shocking truth that almost no one talks about. For millions of older adults, leg circulation does not fail first because of aging, and it does not fail because of magnesium deficiency. It fails because one specific vitamin quietly disappears from the body with age. And when that vitamin is restored, blood flow to the legs can improve in ways that surprise even doctors. And no, I'm not talking about magnesium, potassium, or iron. In fact, focusing on those alone may be the very reason so many seniors never fix the real problem. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what that one vitamin is, why it becomes critical after 60, how it affects the tiny blood vessels in your legs, and what simple mistakes silently block its benefits every single day. Now let me ask you a direct question, and answer it honestly, in your own mind. Have you ever noticed that your legs feel tired even when you haven't done much? Or that walking uphill or climbing stairs feels harder than it used to, not because of your lungs, but because your legs seem to give out first? Maybe your feet are always cold, even in warm rooms. Maybe you wake up at night with leg cramps, or your calves feel tight and sore after short walks. These are not random symptoms. They are classic signs that circulation to the lower body is struggling. And the reason this matters so much is because your legs are the farthest point from your heart. If blood flow is weak there, it's often an early warning sign that something deeper is happening inside your blood vessels. Here's where most people get misled. They hear poor circulation and immediately think of blocked arteries, cholesterol, or calcium buildup. While those can play a role, that explanation is incomplete, especially in seniors who eat reasonably well and take basic medications. Circulation is not just about open pipes. It's about how well the blood vessels can relax, widen, and respond to signals from your nervous system and muscles. And this is where the vitamin I'm talking about becomes absolutely essential. Without enough of it, your blood vessels lose flexibility. They become stiff, narrow, and slow to respond. Blood still flows, but not efficiently, especially when your legs need it most, like during walking or standing. Now, let me clear something up right away, because this is important. Magnesium is a valuable mineral. It supports muscle relaxation and nerve function, but magnesium does not directly repair the inner lining of your blood vessels, and it does not restore the chemical signaling that allows arteries in your legs to open properly. That's why so many seniors take magnesium faithfully and still feel numbness, coldness, or weakness in their legs. They're addressing a side issue, not the root cause. The vitamin that changes everything after 60 is vitamin B12. And before you dismiss that as too simple or something you've already heard about, let me explain why this vitamin behaves very differently in older bodies than it does in younger ones. Vitamin B12 is not just an energy vitamin. It is a key regulator of nerve health, red blood cell formation, and most importantly for today's topic, the health of the endothelium, which is the delicate inner lining of your blood vessels. This lining controls whether your arteries relax or tighten, whether blood flows smoothly or sluggishly. As we age, the body's ability to absorb vitamin B12 from food drops dramatically. This happens even if you eat meat, eggs, or dairy regularly. Stomach acid naturally declines with age, and stomach acid is required to release B12 from food proteins. On top of that, many common medications taken after 60, such as acid blockers, heartburn medications, and even some diabetes drugs, further reduce B12 absorption. The result is that millions of seniors walk around with low or borderline B12 levels without realizing it, because the symptoms develop slowly and are often blamed on aging. When B12 levels fall, the first systems to suffer are the nerves and the smallest blood vessels, especially in the legs and feet. Nerves rely on B12 to maintain their protective coating, called myelin. Without it, nerve signals weaken. That's why people feel tingling, numbness, burning, or heaviness in their legs. At the same time, blood vessels lose the ability to respond properly to nitric oxide, the molecule that tells arteries to relax. Blood becomes thicker, red blood cells become larger and less efficient, and oxygen delivery to leg muscles declines. Walking becomes tiring, balance feels off, muscles fatigue faster. This is why restoring B12 can feel like circulation coming back to the legs. It's not magic, it's biology finally working the way it's supposed to again. Blood flows more smoothly, nerves transmit signals more clearly, muscles receive oxygen more efficiently, and for many seniors, the change is noticeable within weeks, not years. But here's the mistake that ruins results for most people. They either take the wrong form of B12, take too little, or take it in a way their body still cannot absorb. Swallowing a low-dose pill and hoping for the best often doesn't work after 60. That's because absorption is the problem in the first place. If the stomach and digestive system can't process B12 properly, the vitamin never reaches the bloodstream in meaningful amounts. This is why some people say, "I tried B12 and it didn't help," when in reality, their body never actually received it. Another critical piece that almost no one explains is that B12 works best when certain habits are in place and certain habits are avoided. For example, chronic inflammation, high blood sugar, and smoking can all block the benefits of B12 at the blood vessel level. Excess alcohol drains B12 rapidly. Even dehydration can reduce how effectively B12 supports circulation because thicker blood struggles to move through already narrow vessels in your legs. Now think about how many seniors deal with mild dehydration every day without realizing it. Thirst signals weaken with age. People drink less water, especially in cooler months. Blood becomes slightly thicker, circulation slows, and leg symptoms worsen. Then they blame aging again, when in reality, the body is missing key support. Let's talk briefly about walking, because this is another area where people get confused. Walking is excellent for circulation, but if your B12 levels are low, walking alone can feel exhausting instead of energizing. Your muscles are asking for oxygen, but your blood and nerves can't deliver it efficiently. This creates a cycle where people walk less because it feels uncomfortable, which further reduces circulation. Restoring B12 helps break this cycle by improving the body's ability to respond to movement again. There is also a strong connection between B12 and balance. Poor circulation in the legs doesn't just cause fatigue, it increases fall risk. When nerves in the feet and lower legs don't send clear signals to the brain, the body loses awareness of where it is in space. This is why some seniors feel unsteady even on flat ground. Improving nerve function through proper B12 support can significantly improve confidence and stability while walking. Now, let me be very clear about something. B12 is not a drug and it does not replace medical care, but ignoring B12 deficiency while chasing other supplements is like trying to improve a car's performance without fixing a failing fuel pump. You may see small improvements, but the core problem remains. In the next part of this video, I'm going to explain exactly how to recognize subtle signs of B12-related circulation problems before they become severe, the forms of B12 that work best after 60, and the simple daily habits that dramatically increase its effectiveness for leg circulation. This information is especially important if you've been told your circulation issues are just age, or if magnesium hasn't helped you the way you hoped. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what that one vitamin is, why it becomes critical after 60, how it affects the tiny blood vessels in your legs, and what simple mistakes silently block its benefits every single day.
One of the biggest challenges with vitamin B12-related circulation problems is that the warning signs are often subtle at first, so people ignore them for years. Long before pain appears, long before doctors mention nerves or circulation, the body sends quiet signals. You may notice that your legs feel heavier at the end of the day, even if you haven't been active. You may feel a dull ache behind the knees when standing too long. Your feet may feel cold to the touch, or you might notice that one leg feels slightly weaker than the other. Some people describe it as walking through sand or feeling like their legs don't quite respond the way they used to. These are not dramatic symptoms, which is why they're dismissed, but they are important because they reflect early nerve and microcirculation impairment, exactly where B12 plays its strongest role. Another overlooked sign is changes in skin color on the legs and feet. Pale skin, a slight bluish tint, or skin that looks thin and shiny can all indicate reduced blood flow in the smallest vessels. B12 deficiency affects red blood cell quality, and when red blood cells are larger and less flexible, they have trouble squeezing through tiny capillaries. This reduces oxygen delivery, even when larger arteries appear normal. Doctors may say your circulation tests are fine, yet your legs still feel weak. That's because standard tests often miss microvascular issues, which are very common after 60. Fatigue is another major clue, not general tiredness, but leg-specific fatigue. You may feel energetic mentally, but your legs tire quickly. This happens because muscles rely on oxygen and nutrients delivered by blood, and when delivery is inefficient, muscles switch to less efficient energy production. This creates lactic acid buildup, soreness, and heaviness. Restoring B12 helps normalize red blood cell function, so oxygen delivery improves again. Now, let's talk about forms of vitamin B12, because this is where results are either made or lost. There are several forms available, but not all are equally effective for older adults. Cyanocobalamin is the most common and cheapest form, but it requires conversion in the body, which becomes less efficient with age. Methylcobalamin and hydroxocobalamin are active forms that the body can use more directly. For seniors with absorption issues, these forms are often far more effective at supporting nerve repair and circulation. Another issue is dosage. The recommended daily allowance for B12 is based on preventing severe deficiency in younger adults, not on restoring optimal function in seniors with absorption problems. Many older adults need higher doses to achieve meaningful blood levels, especially when absorption is limited. This is why low-dose multivitamins often fail to produce noticeable improvements. The vitamin simply never reaches therapeutic levels in the bloodstream. Delivery method also matters. Because absorption through the stomach declines with age, alternative routes can be helpful. Sublingual B12, which dissolves under the tongue, allows absorption directly into the bloodstream. In some cases, injections are prescribed when deficiency is severe. The goal is not convenience, but effectiveness. The body must actually receive the vitamin for it to help circulation. Now, let's address a critical misconception. Some people worry that taking B12 will overstimulate them or raise blood pressure. In reality, B12 does not act as a stimulant. It supports normal nerve signaling and red blood cell production. When circulation improves, people may feel more energetic simply because their tissues are receiving adequate oxygen again. That is not overstimulation, it's restoration. However, B12 does not work in isolation. It functions as part of a larger system. For example, folate and vitamin B6 work alongside B12 to regulate homocysteine, a compound that damages blood vessels when elevated. High homocysteine stiffens arteries and impairs circulation. B12 helps convert homocysteine into harmless compounds, protecting blood vessel walls. This is one reason B12 deficiency is linked to vascular problems, especially in the legs. Blood sugar control also plays a major role. Elevated blood sugar damages nerves and blood vessels, counteracting the benefits of B12. Many seniors have mild insulin resistance without a formal diagnosis. This alone can worsen circulation. When B12 support is combined with better blood sugar control, results are often much more noticeable. This doesn't require extreme diets, but it does require awareness of excessive refined carbohydrates and sugary snacks. Inflammation is another hidden enemy. Chronic low-grade inflammation makes blood vessels less responsive and increases oxidative stress. B12 supports cellular repair, but ongoing inflammation can blunt its effects. Simple lifestyle adjustments, such as regular gentle movement, adequate sleep, and anti-inflammatory foods, can dramatically enhance how well B12 improves circulation. Now, let's talk about alcohol, because this is rarely discussed openly. Even moderate alcohol intake interferes with B12 absorption and accelerates its loss from the body. Alcohol also damages nerves directly. For seniors experiencing leg numbness or weakness, reducing alcohol can make a significant difference in how well B12 works. Hydration deserves special attention. Blood is mostly water. When you are dehydrated, blood thickens, circulation slows, and oxygen delivery drops. B12 helps improve blood quality, but it cannot overcome dehydration. Many seniors avoid drinking water to reduce nighttime bathroom trips, but this trade-off often worsens leg symptoms. Strategic hydration earlier in the day can support circulation without disrupting sleep. Footwear and posture also influence circulation. Tight shoes restrict blood flow and compress nerves. Sitting for long periods with crossed legs or bent knees reduces circulation to the lower limbs. Small adjustments such as standing up regularly, gentle ankle movements, and wearing supportive footwear can enhance the benefits of B12 by allowing blood to move freely. Another point that deserves attention is walking pace. Slow, consistent walking stimulates circulation better than short bursts, followed by long rest periods. When B12 levels improve, walking becomes easier, creating a positive feedback loop. Muscles demand blood, vessels respond, nerves signal properly, and circulation continues to improve. Now, it's important to set realistic expectations. B12 restoration is not an overnight miracle, especially if deficiency has been present for years. Nerve repair takes time. Blood vessel responsiveness improves gradually. Some people notice warmth in their feet first. Others notice reduced cramping or improved balance. These are signs that circulation is improving at the cellular level. Patience is essential, but progress is real. There is also an emotional component to circulation problems that rarely gets discussed. Loss of mobility creates fear. Fear leads to inactivity. Inactivity worsens circulation. When seniors begin to feel improvements, even small ones, confidence returns. This psychological shift is powerful and further supports physical recovery. As we continue, I'm going to explain common mistakes that silently block B12 benefits, signs that your circulation is responding positively, and how to combine B12 support with daily habits that protect your legs long-term. These next points are especially important if you want results that last, not just temporary relief.